we wanted to start the show talking about a dearly departed member of the Onward community. Unfortunately, Francis Marr, known as Europe of Cannon Fodder, previously of Soldiers of Bane and Silent Purge, passed away earlier this month. Those of the community that played with him spoke highly of his jovial nature, how he was always game to have a laugh and enjoy Onward with friends. He will be missed by us all.
Shield weather balloon too keyed in on that tunnel. The defense really in general not finding too much. Scorpio and Guika trading there on down. UC Death almost finds Trop. And now Trop's in trouble. Weather balloon comes through. Trop doesn't see weather balloon coming in behind, and the trades coming out.
Sorry, headphone users, but it's your man, Pooh Nanners, your Texas caster and hype master.
And it's the leader of the cats who also wear hats. It's Trip.
Yes, it is. We've got our coverage of the Challenger Cup finals as we get ready for Season 7 Spring Championship Grand Finals, which we'll get into who those are going to be, which y'all already know, but we're going to tell you anyway as we just go ahead and kick off with the Challenger Cup final. This is G-Men versus Legionnaires in the very first round. There's not really much to say here. G-Men played really well and took down the Legionnaires, though things got a little sketchy with a West Courtyard objective on Bazaar for G-Men.
Yeah, so let's start this one off. We have the round starting off, and it's a slow one. But Swooty makes the best of it and comes in for a cap. I don't know how he got here. He just walks in, takes his sweet time. Got a minute left. There's the cap. And we go on to the next clip. Here we have some juicy nades coming out of G-Men while they are 3 points up.
Delicious.
We see Brass to Mouth here. He looks, he gets ready, he gives a little wind up. And then he lobs this nade out just like that.
Got a little bounce, and he gets his
Boom,
man just right through that
little crack.
Oh, from that angle, so slight. Well, G-Men ultimately take the series 8-3, getting both maps, go right down to that match point, all 3 points being thrown up on Bazaar, but this did not work out for Legionnaires. Which leads us into round robin A with Danglers versus Blaze. It's a bit of a sleeper for highlights. Buxton will say that about a bunch of these. Lots of straight pushes with Blaze, just rolling Danglers onto their backs. Just brutal.
Yep, it was pretty brutal, and we see Blaze here doing some of their own Blaze brutality. They start off with a lightning-fast approach on Cargo to end this round in 49 seconds flat. They push up through center. We've got Nauko with the shield, and Cryo and Nauko. Nauko picks up one with the shield flick.
Yeah, so this is a fast for a cap, slow for clips, but it's such an amazing clip with how quickly they're able to do this. People just rushing harder on Cargo every week is what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think they're actually going to try, we're trying to get the fastest cap time on Cargo possible, which we're going to see with the Rift S now because of that speed hacks.
There's speed hacks on the Rift S? Oh, man, I've not been paying attention to the Discord.
And here's the final one. Noman picking up another, and it's over in 49 seconds.
That is just amazing. Blaze were able to take both maps 4-1. They were just on fire at the beginning. Pun definitely intended. Which leads us to SMC Tactical versus Globochem. As Buxton repeats, it is another sleeper for highlights, but Globo did their thing, and they just globbed them in general. SMC at least didn't go without a fight against the King.
Yeah, so here we see Pants moving possibly as slow as we've ever seen Pants move. I mean, he's always on the move, but he's going in for a knife kill here. But it just doesn't go well for him. Pwnecake gets him, takes him out, and SMC win the round.
That's right. Globochem do what they do to the tune of 8-3, which leads us into round 2. Globochem versus Danglers. That's another sleeper, as Buxton said, for highlights, with the exception of a disgusting grenade from Arsenic.
Yeah, there were a lot of disgusting grenades in the round robins, and this one in particular was an absolutely filthy grenade. He scavenged it off a body, winds up, throws it, goes under the container, and boom, his man goes down.
Oh,
Like, you don't expect that, right? You're not ready for that.
Oh yeah. Just onto the pallets too, and it wasn't even his grenade. He gets it off somebody else. I mean, if someone was gonna do it, it was gonna be Arsenic. But just oh man, that's so mean. I love it though.
He's not just a sniper with a rifle. He's a sniper with grenades.
Yeah, we've been watching him snipe with grenades a lot, and you see a lot of Globo Kim do that, but definitely Arsenic. It was a Globo rerun with another 8-3 match, which leads us into Blaze versus SMC Tactical. This is a strong match for the start from Blaze, who already had the really strong win earlier, but they fell off for the second map when SMC lost all fear and went straight for a cap behind enemy lines. Just hilarious move here.
So you're going to see this a couple of times in this episode. I think that Sickness has found a new path to the objective. I mean, we see one person go down. Verts takes down Pwnecake. We see a couple other people go down.
Y'all don't even notice him either. It's like the other team doesn't notice what SMC is doing. Y'all don't notice till all of a second, somebody says, wait a minute.
I mean, we almost missed it. Look, the camera's on the other side of the map, and then all of a sudden he's like, wait, no, that's a cap right there. He's just standing there on the objective. No one's looking. I don't know how he got there. He got past the defenders.
And they had plenty of time. Everybody knows it takes SMC, it takes the Sickness forever to put the code into the tablet. So if you've got time, but I wonder if he was just doing sort of like that Texas Rangers thing. There's a couple of other like Special Forces guys that their whole thing is like, if I just don't telegraph any intent on my body, they'll just ignore me. Their eyes will not perceive me as a threat, and I'll just kind of walk in, type in the code, and get the win. Well, if it works, it works. Blaze and SMC both get a map, with Blaze just coming out on top points-wise, 5-4, which led us into round 3 with SMC Tactical versus Danglers kicking it off. Again, we could not find a lot of highlights, but they brought the standard tactics, running and gunning and at each other until someone loses. In this case, it leaned pretty heavily to Danglers until a clutch came out from SMC on Cargo.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're going to see it again. Sickness manages to pull off the exact same tactic that he did against Blaze. I mean, I know that the matches were back-to-back, so Danglers couldn't have watched the game tape, but the fact that this man can do this twice and this high level of play is just astounding. Now, it's got to play. The smokes have to play some part of it, right? You can't hear him walk up, but he walks right past whoever that was. I don't know. That guy's fired, so he doesn't matter anymore. And Sickness just stands there and caps again in his favorite spot.
Oh man, he's the Uplink Whisperer. We're gonna change the Sickness's name. That's your new name, Uplink Whisperer, because you just gotta
have some.
I just know how to walk through the bullets. He's Neo, just walking past bullets. He's like, no, I'm just taking out the groceries, guys. That's the feeling he's putting out there.
Copy and paste the code. That's what it is.
Exactly. That's how we all do it. All from Stack Overflow. SMC and Danglers each get a map, with Danglers throwing up 7 to SMC's 4, which now takes us to Blaze versus Globochem. Blaze tried their best against the Kings, but they're Globo. They'll take anyone down anytime. Well, almost anyone. We'll get into that later. They managed to pull up 2 points on Quarantine, but Blaze just couldn't handle downfall against them.
So here we see Blaze with the chance to win Quarantine and take the first map. And Verts is on objective. He's capping. Pants just kind of walks in, checks his corners. I mean, he's not in any hurry. You've seen Pants move. He moves way faster. He just walks up, boom, headshot, done, walks away. Like, totally nonchalant. He's like, he's
doing the same thing. People figured out that if you move nonchalant, people don't register you in their vision. They're trying to assess threats, and you don't look like a threat to them, maybe. Then again, it's like a heavy flex from Globochem. I mean, those 2 points you saw on the board were the only 2 points that Blaze were able to throw up on the board against Globochem, who ultimately took the whole series 8-2. Just brutal. Just walks up on them. He's like, I'm just going to take my time. At least he didn't knife him. There's at least that. That leads us into round robin B with Lemon Squad versus Boss Fight kicking it off. As much like their previous matches, this is a nice one for the home team. Starting off with a nice 4-1 and leading into a close Suburbia. Caltrop wiped the floor with Boss Fight on multiple occasions. However, no one submitted clips, but Buxton found this one.
I don't know why people didn't submit clips from this. This was a great match to watch. And here we see chaos as the tropical disease is afoot with his shield near the objective. Guika goes down but the Trop gets a pistol kill on the objective. However, he cannot defend against all the attackers or defenders and goes down. But the Lemons do take the round.
They do. I mean, he swung around to tropical disease. He's like, I am the vaccine. I've got you. And then he gets that trade, and then before you know it, it's not even their point. Both teams take a map with those pesky Lemons throwing down 7 points to 5. which leads us into G-Men versus Beginners. A very strong start on this match for G-Men, throwing up a brilliant 4-0 shutout against Beginners on Quarantine and making it to match point on Bazaar. G-Men just really showing a lot of improvement this season.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone expected this 4-0 against Beginners on Quarantine. We're going to see a juicy cap come out, but before that, we're going to see G-Men take the roof in a trade, get a res. Somewhat.
Here it comes. There it is.
There's the res. But the res doesn't matter because they go back down. Both of them are out from behind. But the last member standing just walks up again. Zach Fontaine walks up and caps in like 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
Game
done.
over.
That's it. And then we have the moment where G-Man managed to come back, claw back Bazaar, and making it to match point. And showing that they aren't going down without a fight. Now, I'm stumbling over my words because this cap should never have happened. I mean, he's blatantly just rubbing it in in their faces. He's capping
like,
from
hey
the
guys,
middle of the street.
he's in the open. He's like, you can't. He's like,
you don't do that. That's it's rude. I mean, come on.
It is. But it's funny. I mean, as far as like, when you're on the receiving end of rudeness, yes. But when you're watching it in an entertainment fashion, like sports entertainment, it's like dancing in the end zone. We all want to see it. It's the other team that does it.
It's almost as bad as that SBD cap where he snaked his way all the way across Quarantine.
It's almost like he's like, I'm going for the 360. All right.
The casters are just like, that shouldn't happen. This shouldn't work. I know that's what was being said in that clip.
That's been kind of a running theme this season, and it's really great to watch the meta change as updates come out and even new maps. So we're really happy with how things are going down. G-Men barely lost the second map, ending the series 7-4. That led us into round 2 with Beginners versus Lemon Squad. Lemmings were having some issues with Beginners here on Downfall, but once the map tightens up and turns into metal walls instead of open air, they make their comeback to match point. They're not able to take the map, though.
Yeah, and I know Beginners weren't very happy about this one, but we're going to see Caltrop summon the Dark Gods and cause Icy Woods, who's the last man standing, to disconnect while Caltrop goes for the cap. Now, he doesn't disconnect before the cap happens, so it does count as a point for Lemon Squad, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one. Beginners barely get cargo for the 2-map win, 8-3. Lemon Squad just so close on that one. That leads us into Boss Fight versus G-Man. It's a really outstanding performance here by Boss Fight and some major slip-ups from G-Man. Boss Fight getting 2 caps on the match point Marsoc round for the maximum points possible. Just really showing off on that point board.
Yeah, and this is Buxton's play of the week. This cap to take Suburbia is sort of unbelievable. I mean, we have Boss Fight here. They run in under cover of smoke, one and then another on objective. They're capping. Both of them are capping. Tablet out. Dr. Leo Marvin has no idea. He finally looks this way, but he finds the wrong player. He takes the one that's not capping out, and they manage to get the cap and rub a 5-2 win in their face.
Yeah, that's right. They got 5-2 on both Suburbia and Quarantine for a grand total of 10-5. Just Boss Fight really showing off on how much better they are at those maps than G-Man. G-Man did not see it coming. As strong as G-Man was going up against Beginners, you'd have thought that they'd have put up one hell of a fight against Boss Fight, but Boss Fight just came in with some tactics I think G-Man was not ready for. And then again, they've also been playing all day, so they might have been a little tired.
G-Man is the only NA team in this round robin. This was the EU side, plus the wild card. So they might not. I don't think they've played any of these teams, all season long.
Oh, of course they haven't. It's true. But still, you thought that's kind of the way it would have gone because they did well against Beginners at first. Well, then G-Man went up against another EU team, Lemon Squad. And really, it's the exact same story here as with every other G-Man or Lemon Squad match, for that matter, and the round robin B. First map went strongly to the home team, and then the second goes to match point, but the home team taking it. This is getting kind of uncanny with these repeats here, but G-Men played very well. Lemons were starting to get tired here, I think. They have been playing some series matches by this point already, as I alluded to earlier.
Yeah, it was a long day. Both the round robin days are. And here we see Dr. Leo Marvin in a position to get probably 2 kills, probably 2 knife kills even, but something goes terribly wrong and his knife doesn't work. He gets stuck. I don't know. I casted that match and I I lost all train of thought.
You're just like,
Stood there with
I
my
have
jaw
no
open.
words for what just happened. I apologize. There must have been a technical error. G-Men barely get the second map for the series sweep, 8-3. That leads us into boss fight versus beginners. The fabled EU matchup. Boss fight and the beginners go head-to-head, and it goes both ways, unsurprisingly. What is surprising, though, is the 5-1 score on Bazaar Night. Beginners definitely got thrown off by that one. Boss fight bringing their A game today.
Yeah, I don't think beginners likes night maps as much as boss fight does, but here we see a god tier nade thrown by Kev,
Oh!
just airburst outside the window, and that is your nade of the week.
And just outside the window, right? He's at the angle of looking through the window. Just the timing on that one. I mean, sure, maybe it was luck. Maybe it was on purpose. I mean, you got to consider the level of the teams being involved here. But just as Buxton said, and you said, God tier grenade, just brilliant
I would
work.
feel dirty. I mean, if I got that kill, I would feel so dirty.
Oh, that's a common thing with me and a lot of my friends is that whenever we get like a shot like that, that's too good to be true, especially if we know it's luck, we will just double down on it being that was on purpose. Like, oh yeah, 100% planned that. That's exactly, I've been practicing that one all week.
Yeah.
Oh man. So beginners end up taking that round. Well, both of them getting a map, throwing up 7 to beginners 5. I was reading my little scoreboard there. Funny. Semifinals is where we go to next with beginners versus Globochem. Globochem start off strong on cargo, taking the map 4-1, but they failed to follow through on quarantine and suburbia, losing the series and their chance at the golden ticket to ESL finals and beginners.
To the beginners. They lost to the beginners.
Now the beginners lost too, man. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Globochem using frags and flashes here. Now, it's the weirdest setup I've ever seen in a match. They're all just huddled there, but they get one defender down with a grenade. They throw a follow-up grenade and get another defender. Then they just start throwing airburst flashes, and they catch one right there. You can't see. They pick him up, and then they just rush in on objective.
Smash
Raph
and grab.
finishes off someone. He runs around the objective to make sure it's clear. Goes back in. And Kev is behind them this whole time. Then Kev goes down. Raph checks objective, says it's clear, gets ready to cap. He's got his feet sticking out the door. He goes down. The last man standing rushes in. And it's all over just like that in 45 seconds.
Absolutely
and then we go
brilliant.
on to see an excellent use of utility. This is what you see at those high-level matchups. We see beginners using smokes to allow smoils to cross the street without being detected. Otto's holding this really tight angle. And then we see some follow-up grenade to clear this courtyard and open the south push. There's the nade. Boom. Out. South approach is open. And here we have beginners mounting a counter-strike to the aggressive global offensive and taking map 2. Globochem trying this approach for the second time this map. And they just come up through the middle, and beginners just shut them down. Now, they've already all gone down. It's all up to Arsenic at this point. He runs around. He gets in there, but he just can't. He can't seal the deal. I mean, there's 4 beginners up. 5 beginners up. He just only takes one down, and it's all over. And then we're on to the third map, and this first nade of the map is thrown over center house and goes off right at the timer, and an insta-kill on Pants. Now, that is a beautiful nade. Practiced. That's high-level skill right there. And then for the final clip of this match, we see a knife duel happen in center house, and you just don't see that very often. I mean, they're just jousting with shields.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I think that should just be an entire game mode, and I can just watch people do that all day long. Beginners take the series 9-9, getting 2 of the maps, Quarantine and Suburbia, and giving up cargo 1-4 to Globochem. That led us into... So that means Globochem basically outright boss fight going up against Blaze in this next round. Blaze put up a hell of a fight with Noman sniping boss fight left and right, but it all proved futile in the end.
Yeah, Noman did whip out his sniper rifle, and man, it was beautiful. But here we have some chaos ensuing. This is a 40-second clip, but it captures every single kill from one round.
All the good ones,
You see
anyway.
a couple of kills right there. Logo putting out some more pre-fire. Then he checks his tablet. Everything goes quiet. I think Blaze realizes they need to regroup at this point. And then they get ready for another push, and they come in. They pre-fire, they miss. UC Death takes down Prefontaine on the corner. Then we have a nade come out. Scooby-Doo goes down by Cryocell. Cryocell survives the nade, and picks
Does
up...
not survive the crossfire, though.
Does not survive the crossfire. Just so much chaos. And then boss fight. Capping in what I want to say is 30 seconds or less. This was the most aggressive play we saw the entire round robin. They took out the one defender, and they've got two people up there capping.
I've never seen a bum rush.
Position.
I've never seen a bum rush on the upstairs uplink before. That is insane.
I mean, it's definitely an option. And then we get on to map 2, and we see Noman, who is not the normal sniper for Blaze, testing out his sniper class and getting what I think is quite possibly the longest shot ever. Well, I think it's the longest shot possible on quarantine, to be fair. I didn't know this angle existed. And you see Nightfire, he was over Noman's shoulder.
Looking at 1 pixel.
He goes and checks. I asked him about this later. He said he saw the guy. He called him out. And then he sighted him up again, and no one was there, so he just takes the shots. And he's out, just like that. And it's
I like
the
camera got there in time
shot.
to see it.
And then we see Prefontaine here picking up 2 from the center burning. He takes down Scooby-Doo through this wall. Your butt sticking through. It's your own fault. And there goes 1. And then he picks up, I think it's Legel on this super tight angle here. It is Legel. I mean, I don't think I could have made these shots, but he stops their approach, and then Weather Balloon has to reevaluate how he's going to go with the shield. And then we see Legel doing work again. He's mounting a one-man defense on the flank. He takes down 3 members of Blaze all by himself from these rocks. He already took down 1 at the start of the clip. He sees Noman crossing there. There he goes. He takes down Noman. And then this last one, this might be some hitbox magic here. But he pops up over the rock. At some point, he pops up over the rock. Right? If I say it again, he'll do it. Right?
There
he pops up over the rock. He gets seen. He doesn't get hit, and then he just whips his gun up and takes down Prefontaine.
Takes what it takes.
And then boss fight on the offense here. They know that they have to clear this sniper out, and they just face toss right there with that nade. Man, it's dirty. It's airburst, and he's out.
His team knows he's dead now. Boss fight get the W 11-8, which leads us into our championship match schedule. We have beginners versus boss fight for those of you who are paying attention at home, which is coming up on May 25th at 1830 UTC for the pre-show. I got it weird again. 1900 UTC for the matches. Check your local listings and times. We'll make sure to have every moment of that streamed, and then Sleepy and I will actually be in here to cover the outcome of that the next show. Now let's get into VRL, some of the summaries that I have here. We didn't, no clips submitted, but on the European side, the Vikings took home the victory for the right to challenge beginners, boss fight, and Article 13 for the singles slot at the World Finals match that would be played on this weekend on the 26th. Now, that's a bit to unwrap there, but the LCQ happened, which is what Vikings ended up winning so that they could get into that fight. And the Europeans are only getting 1 slot at the championships, and they're going to have that fight for that 1 slot on the 26th. And the casters are actually be casting out of Poland, and I think, I know Sleepy did the first one for the North Americans. The Europeans, our casters over there have not told us who it's going to be, but Boss Fight is supposed to be playing. So has Radar been playing for Boss Fight this season?
I don't think he's been playing.
Then it probably...
They did say they had someone casting,
but they didn't tell us who.
VRL said that they had someone else.
Yeah, but they didn't tell us who. And so my guess is it's Radar. I'm going to take a guess on that one. Radar, come on, reach out to us. We haven't talked in a long time. We have children the same age. On the American side, Rome was able to seal the deal with their win over Danglers in the North American LCQ, which has put Danglers out for the season. Sorry, guys. They played against Globochem and G-Men and Mob Squad for the 2 available North American slots for World Finals. So let's take a look at how that played out. As you can see, Globochem was able to just roll all the way down with only getting a bit of resistance from G-Men, but that puts Globochem the VRL North America Close Finals, as you can see here. It ended with Globochem taking the number 1 seed and G-Men taking 2nd. Well, that is it for us. Thanks to all our players and viewers for supporting the show. Show us some love in the comments and get a conversation going, as this helps the show rank up and get more exposure to people who do not know about the league yet.
Yes, and keep those clips coming, folks. Even if your match went uncasted, you can still send up clips from players that streamed it. We are always looking for more great highlights. That's
right. Again, I am Poon Enders, joined by director and caster and co-commentator now, Triple Nipple.
Yep, and this show was brought to you by VRespawn.com, your only source for VR esports news. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date.
That's right. This episode was written by Buxton with the help of our community. All praise unto Buxton, he who suffers at the keyboard so we don't have to. Triple Nipple, as always, is our outstanding director, and as this time, he also is our writer for a good section of the show at the end. This entire show was built, as usual, by the extremely powerful new tool by Chris Brown, which handles the run-of-the-show dialogue, scene changes, recutting, downloading clips, his fancy lower thirds graphics, all in one place. We do the show all in one take with no editing thanks to it. Trip, you've got the last word.
Yeah, thanks again for tuning in, everyone, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got the finals to cover next week, so get your hype cannon ready, and that's it for us. Don't forget to have a full mag before you pre-fire.
Nice call.